If you wanted to bring employees from outside the UK, then you need the UK sponsorship license. It's not that complicated as shown by the solicitors, and you can also self-sponsor yourself and convert your post-study work visa or graduate visa into self-sponsorship visa. This is Khan and welcome to my channel UK Knowledge Guru. This is the complete guide of how to apply UK sponsorship license, and I will answer all your questions one by one so you can apply this visa yourself without a solicitor. So without wasting time, let's start.
In this video, we will discuss what is UK visa sponsorship for employers means, what are the eligibility requirements to apply UK sponsor license, what are the types of license, what is the worker license means, what are the eligible occupations for skilled worker visa, what do we mean by sponsorship management roles, how application for sponsorship license look like, what are the suitability check for the license, what we mean by your license rating, what is certificate of sponsorship, COS, types of certificate of sponsorship, how to apply defined certificate of sponsorship, how to apply undefined certificate of sponsorship, what are the responsibilities for getting the license, what is the cost of the certificate, what is the immigration skill charge, difference between small large business for the immigration skill charge, how to calculate how much to pay immigration skills charge, what are the responsibilities after getting the license, and home office guide of sponsorship for skilled worker visa. So let's discuss the first part. What is the UK visa sponsorship for employers mean? You will usually need a sponsor license to employ someone to work for you from the outside the UK. This includes citizens of the EU, Iceland, Norway, Switzerland who arrived in the UK after December 2020. What are the eligibility requirements to apply UK sponsor license? In this, we will discuss just the major suitability requirement. To get the license, you should not have any unspent criminal conviction for immigration offenses in any crime or had a sponsor license revoked in the last 12 months, or you will need an appropriate system in place to monitor sponsored employees such as HR system. There is also another system provided by the third party which we will discuss later. Now let's discuss what are the types of license. The license you need depend on whether the worker you want to fill your jobs are workers or temporary workers. Workers are basically the one for skilled and long-term employment, whereas the temporary workers are for specific types of temporary employment. In this video, we will cover all the topics related to worker visa, which is skilled worker visa. Let's discuss this further in details. You can apply for license covering one or both types of worker. What is the worker license means? A worker license will let you sponsor people in different types of skilled employment. The skilled work can be for short term or long term depending on the worker visa. The license then split up into skilled worker, senior and specialist worker visa, which is also known as Global Mobility Program, Ministry of Religion, international sports person. Now let's discuss skilled worker in detail. Skilled worker depend on job suitability requirement, which depends on eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. So let's discuss this in detail. What are the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa? So there is a complete guide which I will attach after the end of this video. You can download it from there, or if you need it, I can email it to you at the below email address. Occupation code, for example, is 1115. Job type is chief executive and related job is chief executive. Why is this so important? This is important because applying a visa in correct category is very important. For example, chefs are eligible for skilled worker visa, but cooks are not. So if you applying a sponsorship license for cooks, that means that's not eligible for the visa. So this is one of the most important thing which you need to check before you apply for the sponsorship license. There is a separate website which is ONS, Occupational Coding Tool, which I will attach in my description, and you can visit that website to find the correct occupational code. What do we mean by sponsorship management roles? You need to appoint people within your business to manage the sponsorship process when you apply for a license. It is also known as SMS, Sponsorship Management System. The roles are authorizing officer, a senior and competent person responsible for the actions of staff and representative who use the SMS. Key contact, your main point of contact with the UK Border Force. Level 1 user, responsible for all day to day management of your license using the SMS. These roles can be fulfilled by same person or by different people. But you need to mention that who will be fulfilling these roles. So now we will discuss SMS system in detail. When you will fill up the application online, you will get the option how to select the person who will manage the code. This is the website where you will go to submit or register yourself for the sponsorship license. This is the website where you will go and fill up the form. So on this website, you can go and apply for application sponsor. So I'll put the random details just to show you. On the left side, you can see organization, COS, supporting documents, contact details, declaration, payment, and submission. This is what you have to put in. So I'll put the default details like, by random details to show you. So first you need to fill the application of sponsorship license. So once you've done that, you go to the second page. Step 2 of 4 is organization. So you will select the organization where your organization basically operates. It can operate from anywhere from Scotland, England, Wales. Then you will apply for the application for sponsorship license and you will select the details which category is your organization is. So, is your organization currently employing migrant workers, non settled for sponsorship overseas students? Yes, we select that. Food and accommodation, we'll just select that. The head office is in UK, which you will always select that it's inside the UK unless you're applying from outside. Then you will select whether you are a private trader, wholesale, or you are a government body, which organization you have, and then select the period of your organization been trading in the UK, 0 to 6 months. We'll show like it's a new, and then we'll put the our payee reference number. We'll put VAT registration number, and we'll put the account office reference number. After that, you will have the payee reference which you need to provide. You will add that. If your company is registered with London Stock Exchange, you will provide the details of that. If not, then you will select no, and then you will select the registered government body. After that, you need to go for the COS. COS is Certificate of Sponsorship for Skilled Worker. How many certificate of sponsorship you require? So we'll just put one by default just now, and then reason you require this, you will provide the explanation, you will provide the details like why do you need, and if you don't have any available in the country and all that. After that, to prove your organization is genuine and established trading in the UK, you must send the documents. You need to provide all the documents of your company that it's registered in the UK and it's like government as a body, or it's got the membership from or affiliation from different companies. You will provide all those details. After that, you need to appoint an authorization officer, which we discussed earlier. You need to mention all the details of that officer, that who will be the member who will be providing the details. The home office will contact that authorizing officer. If the authorizing officer is not settled in the UK, then he need to apply for the visa first, and once he get it, he's the main officer in the UK for on your behalf, and he can then apply for the further sponsorship of certificates. You will provide all the contact details and you will select who will be running the business, and home office will be contacting that person. The home office will visit your office as well. It depends, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. So you need to make sure that your place is genuine and whatever you provide is actually in working. After that, you will sign a declaration form that you accept all the details you have selected are correct. You will put the dates, and the date will be like of that particular day. So basically, then you have to pay the fees in the end, and the fees depend on two, whether it's 536 or 1476. 536 is for the small businesses, 400 1400 is for the large businesses. You go to the last page where you will put the card details and you pay the fees. Let's go further and discuss what are the suitability checks for the license. You and your staff will be checked to make sure you are suitable for these roles. You may not get the license if anyone involved in sponsorship has unspent criminal conviction, been fined by the UK border, been reported by the UK, broken the law, or been a key person at a sponsor license which got revoked in last 12 months. Fail to pay VAT or any other fees for the Home Office. There are furthermore allocated staff must also be based in the UK most of the time. So, for example, if the allocated staff is working from abroad, then you may not get the license unless you can explain that. Not be a contractor or consultant contractor for the specific project, not be subject to bankruptcy restriction order or undertaking or debt relief restriction or any other undertaking, not have a history of compliance with sponsorship requirement. What we mean by your license rating. License rating is very important. So let's discuss this in detail. There is A rating, a full sponsor license. An A rated license let you start assigning certificate of sponsorship. Your business will be listed in the registrar of sponsors. Downgrading B license. Downgrading to B license mean that your A rated license may be downgraded to B rating at later stage if you do not continue to meet the sponsor responsibilities. Upgrading to an A rating. You need to follow an action plan provided by the UK Home Office to upgrade your license. You have to pay £1,476 as a fees for the action plan. If you get a second B rating, you have options. If you get two consecutive B rating in 4 years, that your license is valid. You lose your license if you still need to make improvement after your second action plan. What is certificate of sponsorship? COS. You must assign a certificate of sponsorship to each foreign worker you employ. This is an electronic record, not a physical document. Each certificate has its own number, which a worker will use to apply for a visa. When you assign the certificate to a worker, they must use it apply for their visa within 3 months. They must not apply for a visa more than 3 months before the start date of the job listed on the certificate. Types of certificate of sponsorship. There are two types of certificate of sponsorship. One is defined, the other one is undefined. These are for people applying for skilled worker visa from outside the UK. The undefined certificates are for the people who are applying from inside the UK, and the applicant are on other visas. So, for example, if anyone got the spouse visa and wanted to convert to skilled worker visa, then they need to have undefined sponsorship certificate. How to apply defined certificate of sponsorship? You must apply for defined certificate for these workers through the sponsorship management system, which we have discussed earlier. You will get access to that SMS system when you will get your license. So once you apply for the license, the system which we have showed, on that license like SMS system, you will log in and you will add the employee for the certificate of sponsorship. When you get the certificate, applications are usually approved within one working day. It may take longer if you need to carry out further checks on the information or the application which you have submitted. Defined certificates will appear in your SMS account once they have been approved. You can then assign them to your worker. Now let's discuss undefined certificate of sponsorship. When you apply for your license, you will be asked to estimate how many undefined certificate you will need for workers and temporary workers in the first year. If you are sponsoring an UK expansion worker, if your license has a provisional rating, you will be only be able to assign one certificate of sponsorship. This must be assigned to the authorizing officer so they can settle and enter in the UK. Once they got their visa, you can upgrade your license to an A rating and request for up to 4 additional certificate of sponsorship using the sponsorship management system. So for example, a company is based in Africa and they wanted to expand in UK. They will apply for the license and they will get the provisional rating. After getting the provisional rating, they will apply license for the authorizing officer. Once he get the sponsorship, he come across to UK, then he will upgrade the license to A rating and apply for 4 additional sponsorship certificates. What is the cost of the certificate? You will need to pay a fee when you assign a certificate to a worker. How much certificate will depend on type of sponsor license you have. So if you're applying for a temporary worker, it's £21 for the certificate. But if you're applying for a worker, like a skilled worker program, then it's £199. What is the immigration skill charge? If you assign a certificate of sponsorship to a worker on a skilled worker or a senior or a specialist worker visa, you might also need to pay the immigration skill charge. The skill charge for the first 12 months is £364 for a small company and for the large company is £1,000. Now let's discuss difference between small and large business for the immigration skill charge. So if you're running a small business, then it's different. If you're running a large business, then it's different. You are usually a small sponsor, at least of two of the following apply. If your annual turnover is 10.2 million or less, your total assets are worth 5.1 million or less, you have 50 employees or fewer. If you come under this category, then you will be applying for the small sponsorship license. How to calculate how much to pay immigration skills charge? How much to pay based on how long the worker will be working for you in the UK. If the worker will be in the UK for longer than 6 months but less than a year, you must pay for at least 12 months. You must pay the full charge in one go. The longest you can sponsor a worker for UK visa is 5 years. So the most you will pay is for 5 years. It will be calculated as 1820 for 5 years for a small company, £5,000 for a large company. £364 is the fees for 1 year. Multiply that by 5 for the 5 years. That's what the fees you will pay for the immigration skill charge. UK visa and immigration will contact you if you do not pay the charge or pay the wrong amount. You will have 10 working days to pay the charge. The worker visa application will be refused if you do not pay that charge. What are the responsibilities for you after getting the license? Check that your foreign worker, which traveled from other country, have necessary skills, qualifications, or professional accreditation to do their job. And keep copies of the documents showing this. Only assign certificate of sponsorship to workers when the job is suitable for sponsorship. Tell UK visa immigration if your sponsored worker are not complying with the condition on their visa. Your license may be downgraded or suspended or withdrawn if you do not fulfill these responsibilities. This is the guidance for the sponsors for worker and temporary workers. It's also known as Part 1 Apply for License Guide, which you can get that from the gov.uk website. But if you need it, you can always email it to me and I will forward it to you. If you have any questions regarding this skilled worker visa sponsorship video, feel free to email it to me and I'll get back to you.